up?
All right, Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, so
All right, so let's start all over. My name is John Hine from the South Florida Clean Water Movement. We have a very special guest today. I want to introduce Mr. Eric Brown. Please take the floor, Mr. Eric Brown.
my name is Eric Brown. You guys know me as the Goat Man because, of course, I got Deer the Goat out here at the Rock Club Foundation. I've been all over America and just inspiring people and helping people come to a higher level of consciousness and understanding to their my own mind. I'm trying to create a movement of artists and people that are innovators that want to make the world a better place. So I'm trying to bring and this through what I call the Rock Club Foundation. As and I'm over here in Detroit, Michigan, at the president Rock Club Foundation headquarters in Detroit, Michigan, fighting to rebuild this city and fix the problems. But I've been involved with activism movements throughout the country for over a decade. And I was talking to him before about how I used to did Orte festivals and a bunch of other activism work in Florida as I lived there. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and if you could talk a little bit about your art project. We're very proud of an art project we do within our group. It's called Artivism through a girl named Rachie Farrow. Many artists are portraying their art and kicking it out to use it as a form of activism. And if you could explain a little more about what you're doing with the artistic platform.
So basically, when I was in high school, I found out that the best way to be an artist and to express your art is not just for your own expression, but when you're giving back to the community, you get we spend way more as artists when you creating art that's beneficial to the community, and that way, because I feel like, only are you an artist, but you also activism is a double in the story that's beautiful. That not only can you be an artist, but you can also be an activism that works hand in hand to create, to do something positive for both yourself and the community, and to get your word out there. So I try to inspire every artist to not only for people to follow their dreams and to follow their ambitions, but also to do whatever, come up with any type of creative ways to give back to this planet and to give back to this world and to help our existence to become a higher level of existence, because like we've been stuck in the same planet for a beginning of time. We've been stuck in the same cycle. We've been doing the same thing, and every day is the same old thing, and we get stuck in the rotating cycle. And eventually, we like a plant that is growing beyond, resources and becoming root bound. So that's basically what we are happening with our minds and our society, is that we are becoming like root bound because we fail to expand beyond. And so what I'm able to do is help break people's minds free of the box and help them be able to grow beyond their level of existence. And that's what art is and creative people really is there for, because not only are you helping accomplish your destiny, that you're inspiring others to accomplish theirs. And so.
Yeah, keep going on, please. You have the platform. We want everyone here on this platform to know exactly who you are. Introduce your group and everything else and how we can find you.
Yeah, so I'm with the Rock Club Foundation. My YouTube page is Eric and Deer the Goat. I'm going to be sharing this video on Eric and Deer the Goat. If you guys like to share the YouTube video, more people that watch me through not only Facebook but YouTube. YouTube is an international platform of artists, creative people that's why I really do love YouTube, because the YouTube is, they call the people that make content creators, and they actually do well partnership with the people that are making content and reward them for making content and help. For Facebook doesn't reward you for making content and actually only allow your content to go out to your followers, and that's like, and so they're not inhibiting your expansion of your art through, at so I love using other platforms such as YouTube that inspiring creativity, but even YouTube is sometimes like will demonetize you and will, for talking things like environmentalism or activism, because for some reason, like these activism and things sometimes get, but that's not really today's discussion. Today's discussion is just basically inspiring people like you to live out your dreams and to give back to the community and to kind of we understanding, restoring our our energy and the way we are. So what I was talking about before is that we were talking about before is the chemical manufacturers and the people that are producing chemicals are the one that destroying the planet. All the chemicals are going into the water. We keep drilling for oil. We keep digging for things, digging up, destroying the earth, putting maybe I should tell you guys. There's a song that I wrote before. It called Poison. And it's really kind of dictating like what are we doing, and it's understanding. Maybe I should sing it for you guys right now, because understanding like. So, what are we fighting for, and what are we dying for, and what are we killing our lives wait for again? What are we working for, and what are we dying for, and what are we killing for again? Working all our lives away, working all our days away, working all our lives away for again. Well, poison, pick your poison, please. Poison in the water, poison in the air, and we, the one that put it there. We, the one that put it there. We put it in the water, we put it in the air. We can buy it as fast as we can because we cannot get as much. We pull up to the station, and we fill up of our cars. We fill up on the poison, and every aisle and every shelf, there's nothing but the poison the thing behind the counter, and poison behind the thing. And the thing, and the thing. You can keep on driving by the man that's standing on the corner. The man on the corner is begging you for some more. Well, he just wanted a little bit more poison, just like you wanted a little bit more yourself. And we all just craving for a little bit more poison. The day that we all, and the poison you seek is waiting for there because of that temperature. It's always waiting for you outside. That's so well. Poison. So nothing take away the pain of dying, nothing take away the pain of living, but a little bit of poison, a little bit of poison. Poison in the water, poison in the air, and we the one that put it there. What are we working for, and what are we dying for, and what are we giving all our lives away for again? Poison. We are sitting here spending all our money on poison, and we continue to go to work. We keep buying oil. We keep buying these things made by the community that perpetuating, the system, perpetuating the energy system that we are in, that is perpetuating what we are. We are basically stuck in a. We are right now. We are addicted to poison. We addicted to things that we think that it's good, that we will helping our society and help our economy. They're lying to us, saying that we need these things in order to sustain our way of life, a sustainable economy, but our way of life is not sustainable. And that we do need it to sustain a way of life that we are in, but we realize, understanding that to a higher level of us, that there is other ways of life and there are other possibilities and other existence and there are other ways and other technology And we do not need the oil, and we do not need the gas. We don't need the lithium from the batteries. We don't need all these things. We got technology that from the beginning of the year we need to repair the carbon cycle. We need to repair what we are doing. We need to come to terms with with our own what we're doing, and we continue to give back. And it's hard. It's hard. We've got to break the cycle each day and return ourselves to the carbon cycle that's we can. So so I was thinking about like the fact that we got gasification, we got systems that we can turn garbage into gasoline that have been going for 100 years. The technology and things. Well, basically, what happened? Why do we use the norm of society? Basically 100 years ago, there was a women's suffrage movement, and we got rid of oil and hemp because we believe that the system told us those things are harmful to our society, and so we decided that for what reason that we're going to put prohibition on these things, and prohibition was started by the oil companies and by the chemical manufacturers to do away with hemp and to do away with alcohol as fuel and do away with hemp as a way to produce goods and services. And now, which is good that hemp is becoming now understand and legalized, and that we can maybe use those resources once again, but we got to and so that's what we got to do. We got to understand that petroleum prohibition against chemical manufacturers, because they're the one that came up with the idea of prohibition. They're the one that came up with prohibition. So let's put their medicine back on them. And that's what we need to do. We need to straight up say prohibition against petroleum. And once we're able to get past petroleum, our society able to grow past our society, because we're never going to be able to get out off this planet and to grow as society if we always rely on oil. Right now there's spaceships on Mars that runs on batteries that have been there for 20 years that are size of cars. There's vehicles that are size of cars. Look it up right now. Curiosity robot is running on a radioactive battery that have been running for over 20 years. The vehicle is is the size of an SUV. It's huge. It's a huge vehicle that is driving around Mars right now. And there's and that this same technology was used in the first spaceship that when we went to the moon. So it's like, so the fact that this technology is being inhibited in understanding that the same technology that we use to mine lithium is that as a byproduct is thorite, as a radioactive material that could be used to make these batteries that last forever off radioactive materials. There's all kind of energy. There are all kind of ways. The energy is everywhere. Energy is always abundant. Energy is in everything. And everything is made of energy. If you take all the energy, everything is made of energy. And all matter is made of energy. Energy is everywhere. If you take all the electrons out of the earth, it will become a speck the size. Will fill less than a shot glass. That's how much space is being like contained in energy. Basically, everything we is so like. So there's like the fact that we believe that there's some type of energy crisis, or believe that that is just something that these people are manufacturing, understanding that because we got to go beyond what they're feeding us, and we're understanding what we are doing as society. And and so when I lived in Florida, they asked, I built a pickup truck that ran on a garbage that I picked up from people's yards, took yard debris and drove around picking up yard debris, shoveling in the back of my pickup truck, hiring homeless people to do work, and creating and planting gardens for their community. That's what and the city, for whatever reason, they ran me out of town for having to go. They ran me out. They the fire department come and they put a ban on the gasifier. They filled the reactor with water, and they told me that I'm not allowed to do any more of the gasification experiments in the town. And if I do it again, the fire company will give me a fine.
That's
Even
crazy.
though what?
I said that's crazy.
And that's why I left Destin. That's why I left Destin. That's why I came to Detroit, because even though people say Detroit is that nothing good to come out of Detroit, there's so many amazing people that are coming to Detroit to do amazing things, because there are artists coming here from all over the country that are most creative, enlightening people you ever seen. Because you know what, they allow people to be to push the edge of limits. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to come out and tell you got to get the goat off the street, or can't drive around with a car that runs on garbage. And they got way bigger things to handle than that. So.
Now, as you know, being from Destin, we are here in Lee County. That's where I'm coming to you from, Lee County, Florida. Talk about having no other better things to do. This seems to be the opposite what we're dealing with our government, where we're dealing with a whitewash, complete complacency, bought off politicians who would rather stay silent during an ecological disaster than come to the aid of the people. Can you speak about the complexity when it comes to, you know, uh, this area, South Florida, being another Flint, Michigan?
So yeah, so I'm right here in Detroit. I have friends that are working for in Flint, Michigan, water protection people, and basically what happened in Flint, Michigan is the EPA saying the water is safe and it's safe to drink, but then people die because and that's been a big thing for a while. I'm on the phone right now. Hey, I'm on the phone.
Okay. I am too.
Well,
Yeah.
So anyway,
so yeah,
the
so this.
complexity, the comparison between Flint and South Florida.
So basically, exactly, the government don't know what to do. Basically, what is happening with the government is that so we got government is being attacked by both sides, right? The government basically the government was created by the people, for the people, of the people, to protect us from tyranny, right? And to protect us from people that do us harm, and to protect a betterment of society and a common good of people, right? It's supposed to be the united of people coming together to to, to basically to ensure domestic, try and try and peace. And if you read the Constitution, that's what it basically spelled out. You know, basically. And so right now, us as activism, we have a government.
Whoa, whoa, Rasta. Come on, good thing.
The government is the government is like, so we think that government is against us, and we think the corporations against us. Really, we need to what we need to do is we need to understand that we are the government, and we need to understand that we are part of the government, and the government is part of us, and then we need to unite with the government and against the evils that are threatening us. And if the government is not uniting with us, then they're not really truly a government. Because the government is actually should be
If I could jump in there, you know, I've gone personally to DC
of the people. And
the
because
DC
that's what the
official
government is involved.
5 years
The
ago.
job is.
So what I was saying was, I couldn't agree more. You got to be an extension of the government. Personally, I've gone for my community 5 years in a row to DC and speak with the congressman and create a relationship that's based on water. Water is life. They don't understand that, of course, but the gap through communication and understanding unity has to be struck on that level. You know, I think that is what has to happen in South Florida, especially. The government is very much paid off by special interests, in this case, big agriculture and beyond, mining. You know, you got Mosaic down here and U.S. Sugar, to call two of them out. And, you know, they got their hands in the politicians' pockets, so therefore they work for the special interest, not the people.
And that's a problem. So what we need to do is we need to work on trying to so we need to work on trying to working with the government and the people. Yeah, so I don't know what we need to do to get back in the side of the government. Do we need to create a new government? I think the government that we have could maybe hopefully be changed and amended somehow with enough work of enough people that we all need to come together and be realize that we are an extension of the government and get more involved with what the government is doing, which is good. That what is happening is that we are more and more doing that because the government does what we don't like, more people get involved with the government. And so that's kind of like a good and bad thing. So what we need is that right now we have the turning point, more and more people getting involved with the government.
Right.
Because we don't like what the government is doing. So more the government.
You should not be afraid of your government. You should not be afraid of them to approach them. They're there to be approachable.
Exactly. The government is just an extension of ourselves, extension of the people. You know?
Right.
The government.
So if you want to live in fear or blame of your government, therefore you're fearing yourself and blaming yourself.
Exactly. And we all got to be presidents. And we all got to be.
We spoke to a young lady today who brought to us live right out front of the White House, and she was pleading to our nation's leader to pay attention to us. After all, he owns property Mar-a-Lago. That gate was just opened recently, and East Coast has AKA red tide, or better known as brown tide, cyanobacteria, and the beaches are closed. And here we go into season, and you know, we're looking at it as a election cycle right here on the heels coming up for Florida and you know, the nation, and new governor. That means new shuffling of the South Florida Water Management District. We highly point a finger at them when it comes to the mismanagement of our waterways. Every time you see impaired waters or a dead manatee or you know, dead raccoon or bird that has perished, that spells mismanagement. And, you know, the only person that can shuffle that board is the governor. So we have a Democrat versus a Republican, of course,
And then,
two-party
and,
system.
but yeah, exactly, and so a lot of people are scared to get involved with the government. They're scared of the government. They don't want to talk to the government. They have a pre-existent that they think the government is actually against us. But the people, I mean, a lot of the people that run for government probably went. I mean, hopefully we're not going to be voting for people that doesn't have our interests in sign. You know, so.
Right.
And that's what government is supposed to be
you get
there
to
for.
a two-party system where they're all paid off, and you know, each one is very unfriendly to the environment. We went through 8 years of Rick Scott, who completely slashed regulations for pro-environment, and look what we have here: full-on BP oil spill.
So one of the interesting things that happened when I was talking to a lot of the locals before the BP oil spill, and I asked them why they don't want to get involved with Earth Day and why they don't want to get involved with the EPA. Because a lot of people fear the government and fear the EPA to be able to tell them what to do. So the biggest thing is not only so we can't make the government make people to do the right thing. We got to make the people believe to do the right thing for the right reasons, and not just because what happening is we make the government. What we do is we make the government make us do what we don't want to do. It doesn't really make sense because, you know, if you make people recycle, they're going to not want to recycle even more, you know? Sometimes.
Right,
That's,
yeah.
you know?
I couldn't agree more. You know, if it's a psychotic government and a psychotic society, you know, a narcissistic, sociopathic society that's leading through government, then what are we teaching our children? How are we treating our earth, you know, in a psychotic way? Mother Nature always seems to kick back, that's for sure. Here we are, you know, approaching season in South Florida, our moneymaker when it comes to tourism. Everybody's shaking in their boots. There's a lot of hate going around, a lot of blame, a lot of particulars, and it's fear. So it's the almighty dollar once again.
Not only do we need to educate the people in the government, but we got to educate the people.
So, you know, how do you respond to an economical collapse as a result of an ecological disaster? You know, we're talking about an economical collapse, a complete community falling out.
Exactly, and I'm on the phone. All right.
Come on, let's go. Rest up.
All right.
Come on.
My friend's trying to get his dog up the stairs. All right, thank you.
Sounds like it.
My friends, my friend, I now I'm live at the Rock Club Foundation headquarters where I got like taking a lot of different people. I have about 5 or 6 people staying with me right now. I can have up to probably 20 people at a time staying with me. I house different artists that comes to Detroit, different people that need housing and assistance. Sometimes trust me, it can be a handful at times. I do apologize. You know?
No. You know, being socially active and standing up for your community and earth, you rarely have many friends doing that, you know? Telling the truth has a price to pay.
I mean, well, you just got to be humble and you got to be loving people. Like there's so many people hating on me for trying to do things for the community and living on, you know, donations and living on the community and giving back to the community and asking the community to give back to what I am doing and giving back to the community and then asking the computer and then when I ask the computer to reciprocate, the people a lot of times. It's amazing how many people are offended by that. The fact that you ask them for, reciprocation of what you are trying to do for the community, you know? Like, I'm out here doing so much for the community, but I ask, the fact that that I have a donation page offend people, and they've been,
Right. I've been called so many mean names, so much hate because of donations. It makes grandmothers cry
and I'm not forcing anybody
because
to donate.
you're giving back. You're
Yeah,
giving back.
people don't cuss out bartender for receiving tips. You know, you know.
Right.
They, I how or
And who
or
who
pastors,
are we working for as an employer? We're
or
working for Mother Earth as an employer.
yes, we working for our community. We're working for Mother Earth as a thing, and we not forcing anybody to give us any more than they're willing to give, and we humble ourselves by the people that we're on the thing. And so every day, people message me and say, you need to quit sharing your GoFundMe. You need to quit asking for donations. And I'm like, I'm feeding 20 people in my house. I have 2 houses, and I'm feeding 20 people. And they people are on me for asking for $1, you know. And like I'm
Right.
doing more. I'm feeding and housing more than the United Way that getting receiving $5,000 a day.
Well, let me interrupt you. I've been the victim of, paparazzi who has tried to slander my good name in the movement, and even physical violence. I won't say who, but, 2 forms of hate when it comes to doing the right thing for community. People like to call us nasty names like protesters, demonstrators, this or that, but they never include the term community members, and that's all we are, is community members.
Yeah, we right now we just people that we are involved with that community. Like maybe just like pastors, just like people that run you know. And I'm sure there are a bunch of pastors who get cussed out because they don't hear the gospel, you know. And so that's we I guess we are no different, But
Right. Well,
yes,
I think the community is no different, And when they start to point that finger, they forget 4 are pointing back at themselves,
so
Because
yeah,
after all, we're being transparent with the donations. We're doing exactly what we say we do with them, and the
yeah,
people are giving on their own free will, as you pointed out.
yeah. We not, they
It's
tipping.
quite the trend. The haters are the ones who not gave a dime.
So and my friend, I talked to some of my people that lives here at the Rockland Foundation, and a lot of the people I house that come into my foundation, some of the people I meet on the street, how a lot of times those people can receive $100 a day in donations and spend it all on their own selfish, addictions. And while I'm out here giving all the donations I receive into building up a foundation for the community, and buying food
Right.
for
And it's a
myself.
grassroots level.
And so,
It's not a 501c3 or a non-for-profit. It's a grassroots level.
yeah, and that's why I moved to Detroit, because there's so many grassroots, innovative people here in Detroit, and I just felt like at home at it. At the same time, they have a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems. Most of the houses are falling down. You know. Um, right now,
Let me ask you a question. What would be the advice for a community who's facing the opposite, where the community is backlashing upon you for trying to do for a community? What would be the advice for the people listening at home to rise up above that and be strong?
what I need people to do is if you want to support somebody like me, is that continue to share what we have doing, continue to share our websites that we are donating to, um, and continue to be, still being kind to the people that, because my friend was saying that if you could I could just delete everybody on my Facebook that talking shit and saying they ain't going that I should be asking for donations, but my friends say you just be kind to those people. And if you be kind to those people that are mean to you, then you're gonna earn their respect. You know,
Right.
you know, you gotta be kind.
Right. Because they're in it too.
You gotta earn their respect. You
I
gotta be
don't blame
kind to
those people.
even
They're just
those
talking
people
here.
that are so that are talking edited to you. I mean, sometimes they're hard though. Sometimes they're hard though,
Yeah,
but
they can be brutal.
people
I think what people forget about people like you and myself, I think what the society forgets is, we're feeling this a little harder than most people when the disasters go down and we're trying to be community leaders because we're empaths after all. We're feeling it on a tenfold level than the majority of society.
yeah. So and people don't realize that a lot of time what we're doing as community members is a full-time job. Like we don't have time to go out and get a job at McDonald's for $8 an hour. Because when we are community activism, that's a full-time job. You know,
Right.
and yeah, and even if we don't spend 100% of the donations, you know, but like I said, a lot of times the tips of doing the right thing, and that we are doing the right thing. We are spending the majority of money on doing the right thing, giving back to the community, and as much as we can, because especially me here in Detroit, man, because money that I spend, it get spent probably 10 times. You know, so because I pay somebody to do work on my house, and then they pay somebody to do work, and then they pay somebody to do work. You know, so
Oh man, I'll tell you what, just in the last like month and a half, our group, the South Florida Clean Water Movement, me personally, we learned some serious lessons over institutions and raising money for them. I mean, all the way down to the Harry Chapin Food Bank. Yeah, I'll call them out. But they took it anonymously and wouldn't tell the media who was smearing us that we donated, as if we stole money to give to people that were starving to eat during an ecological disaster. So we had to face that kind of heat, and we're still getting over it to the point where the reporters like jump out of the weeds and treat us like Lady Gaga, and they're the paparazzi. And it's ridiculous when we're trying to do the full-time job and we're being held back by our own you know vessels of information that we no longer rely on. So we don't rely on the major network media per se, where we rely on social media and become our own newscasting frontier. And I know that you're doing the same thing, reaching tons of people with your message, and it becomes the media itself, is what I'm getting at.
yeah, exactly. So that's what we need to do. Is we need to become the media. We the artists, we need to be such big people. We need to become the media. Right now, that's why I believe in YouTube. That's why I believe in other social make because Facebook is only allow you to go out to the people that you input. But if you get on YouTube, anytime anybody put this stuff in Google, it will pop up. If you Google the stuff, Facebook don't pop up. Google, because people, you don't realize, but Google own YouTube. So when you Google something, YouTube was pops up, right? And because YouTube is owned by Google is owned by YouTube, so they want people to go to their own site. Well, they actually don't want people to go to Facebook. So you actually, when people Google this type of thing, if you put things on YouTube, you are actually creating a thing for new people to be able to engage with you more regularly available than
we're in the midst of we're in the midst of transitioning over. You know, I got a 15-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and very much millennials working as moderators and administrators within the group. We're pretty beefed up now, and the idea is to transition over to, you know, the other 99% of the market of social media, where Facebook's only about 5%, and it's kind of like preaching to the choir, is what you're saying. And I couldn't agree more. I'm thankful for the platform that it provided, but it's time to move on to all of the other vessels like YouTube and Google and all that.
Because Facebook is very limited because it's actually they have to creating things that they don't want information to become viralized. They believe that if too much information gets spread, it's actually bad for society because they believe that if too much, if things get spread too much, it will create misinformation. So they actually create protocols for like people like me and you for information to kind of be tampered and things not to be provided. They actually creating algorithms for things you know, because usually back 10 years ago things got viral really quickly, but now they're creating algorithms that actually inhibit things to becoming for information to be spread. So availability. And so but well, YouTube is actually like a snowball effect. More people see it, the more people going to see it, and more people going to see it, the more people will see it. So if we get 1,000 views on YouTube, that's like going to bring 1,000 more people to see it. If 1,000 of our people watch something on YouTube, 2,000 people are going to see it on the planet. We're going to actually cause twice as many people are going to see a video that's posted on YouTube and actually the people that are your people that actually watched it. So basically what happened is on YouTube is usually when I post something, 50% of the viewers are my own subscribers. Well, on YouTube, on Facebook, you don't even get your own subscribers be able to view your content that you put out. Your content only goes out to 1% of your fan base. And then 1% of, so 1 in 1,000 people. So that means I have 5,000 people on my Facebook, 7,000 people on my Facebook, right? And maybe one of my posts might get 100 views. And I'm like, what is this? You know? When you got 7,000 people on your Facebook, but yet your posts only get 100 views or 200 views. That's you know, that's literally Facebook inhibiting.
Yeah, it's a trip.
What? So,
yeah, it's a trip, man. It's a very small market, but you know, like we gotta transfer it over, and you know, it's got to become more of just internet based anyway. Of course, social media is a very valuable tool, but we need people out there knocking on the doors. You know, I've been on bridges for the last 10 years solid. You know, I've been to DC 5 times in the last 5 years. Working with the goofballs. You know, state capitol 8 times in the last.
Wow.
Named the river champion.
So do you have a YouTube page?
You know, the point being is, Yeah, we do have a YouTube page, South Florida Clean Water Movement. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I suggested that maybe you guys should get on that a little bit more and make up videos once a day or so, and to get people to subscribe to that because, like I said, that's real. The real views are going to come from, and that's where you're going to really get snowballs.
Right.
If you really want a snowball,
Yeah.
that's a vehicle to do it. You know?
Right. I mean, we got the truth out there. Now we need to hit the global market. You know, this is a very isolated incident, even though it's so widespread in Florida that the masses are not getting out with the message. They're outraged, no question, but you know, we need to have those companies like Mosaic and U.S. Sugar called out to the highest degree because they're also using social media as platforms too now, of course.
That's why. That's why. Yeah. So YouTube, Twitter. I'm working on all these things. But yeah. There are a lot of platforms outside of Facebook. Reddit is a big one. I'm not really sure how to tap into that, but yeah, I'm trying to get things going.
Well, I'll be sharing this video.
So
I'll be sharing this video with all my, moderators and administrators. Like the idea though is grassroots. Like I really want to bring that back home.
As soon as I get off here, I'm going to save this to my phone, and then I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. And then
Right.
you can, and then I'm hoping that you guys will share that and ask everybody to share it. Maybe you could even, maybe, I don't know if you should take this video down and tell people to view it through YouTube, or just leave it and tell people to subscribe, share the YouTube link.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll keep it up until we get the YouTube video shared.
Yeah.
And then I'll tear it down. But yeah, I mean, like the idea is like, I want to bring people back home, like the message, like I want to talk a little more about the, BP oil spill and the way you helped out as a community member on community cleanup, and not anybody can just go out there and start cleaning up,
Exactly. We need
you had to go through hurdles to get there.
Exactly. Like it's literally, it's so hard because the city want you to the city rather you not talk about the oil spills and do something about it. They'd rather do, they rather people don't, because like the oil companies actually pay people to shut people up about, actually was trying to cover. It's literally is a cover up, and actually have a lot of people admit to the cover up, and that's the fact that I'm almost believe that that how they paid it. Everybody got lawsuit money from the BP oil spill. When you get that money from BP, they had to sign something saying that you are not, that they basically signed something that was saying that you have to be silent and not say anything negative about BP when you receive the lawsuit money.
And quite a number of other companies. In the small print, it also printed like other companies as well. And for a lifetime, you can't speak against them for a lifetime.
Yeah, when you receive money from BP during that lawsuit, the reason they give out money, not because they were trying to do the right thing, they actually doing it to make sure that if anybody talked against BP, that they can have. And they only mainly give out the money to the people that actually had a voice in the community. So they actually, and so many people like try to get involved with the BP Earth Day Festival, and they like, oh, I can't get involved because I got I had a side contract with BP. you know?
Yeah, it's a trip.
And
It's
and
blood
they,
money.
and it's so crazy. Like they sit there like say they can't get involved because you got money from BP. I mean they BP. I mean I doubt the BP is actually going to ask for the money back or do anything, but they might. Who knows?
Right. They threatened to a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like when it comes to your attempts on the community efforts of cleanup, like talk a little bit about to the people back home here in Florida about what you did with cleanup during the disaster.
So I actually did an Earth Day festival. So I started doing Earth Day festival in 2007, right? In Colorado, I did the Earth Day festival there, and then I moved back to Florida. I did an Earth Day festival in 2009 and 2010. During the BP oil spill, I did an Earth Day festival, and there's so many, like I was saying, so many people wasn't agreeing with why I was talking about the environment because they don't want the government to tell them what to do. They rather be free and just do what they want to do. So what we need to do is change people's hearts, people's minds, and not just force the government to force people doing what they don't want to do. We gotta we gotta change people's minds and hearts and realize that they want to do these things because they understand the benefits of it. And so that's so when I and so even though I didn't get a good turnout on Earth Day, I realized I made a lot of people think about their actions. You know, because even though a lot of people judge me, they also had to judge themselves. And so like when I went, so so there's a tourist development council called, and all throughout Florida, these tourist development councils, and that we pretty much what they do is they get money from hotels and restaurants, um, and they pay the tourist development council a percentage of their revenues, 5% tax of all restaurants and hotels. Some counties it may be more, but there's a percentage of the revenue that they receive go towards. And basically, what happened was the BP donated like $1 billion out of the oil spill, like $1 billion, right? And so I walked up, and so I went to the meeting, and everybody got up in front of the meeting, talking to them about their event that they're doing. Oh, I'm doing the Pirate Festival. I'm doing the Seafood Festival. I'm doing the Mullet Festival. I'm doing this festival. I'm doing that festival. Most of the festivals are just, oh, I want to block off a portion of a city and invite everybody to come down and get drunk. And the city like, wow, that's great, dude. Let's invite people to come down and get drunk in our town. Let's give you $20,000 to invite people to come and get drunk in our town. Cool. Here we go. Here, $20,000 to do a party. Have fun. Here, and they literally people lining up to get cash to do a party. And then then I walked up and say, is there any way that you can give me a couple $1,000 so I can do an event for the community for Earth Day? And they literally told me no. And they really actually told me that they didn't even want me to do the event, and they ain't funding my event, and that my event that and I probably could have talked them into paying me not to do the event at that point. you know?
Yeah. I do know. I do know. We see a lot of other groups out there like collecting $1 million donations and having a lot of alcohol included out there in the name of clean water.
And so I mean, I don't know. I think alcoholism. Can I add is alcoholism? Banning of alcohol is the reason that we have oil in the first place. That, no, I don't understand that. I don't agree with alcoholism or poisoning yourself, but like there is a lot of research, a lot of study that for some reason that alcohol did give back to our society a lot for some reason or another.
Yeah, sure.
And
It made it social.
but whatever, you know, you got to make it fun. Sometimes you have an alcohol, you know, sometimes that's the best way to raise money. It's with a party, you know.
Yep.
You know, because
And there's
people
nothing,
love getting
there's
drunk and
nothing wrong
spending
with
money.
that. As long as the money's going back to the community, you know? So that's where it has to be grassroots all the time. It has to go back to the community. It can't go into the pockets of these organizations that are 501c3s. It has to go into the community.
I go, because the most of the money I generate is that from people at bars, and because people at bars are the people that go to bars are actually one of the most generous people that you can find. You know, because you walk around the
Yeah,
whole city and get no money from anybody, but you walk in front of the bar and everybody handing you 20s. You
right.
know, so you know, maybe that's what we need to do is fundraisers. Maybe you should go talk to bars about doing fundraisers at the bar. Tell them that maybe you should do a fundraiser in every town in Florida. Just go to every bar in Florida, get a microphone, talk in front of the microphone for 20 minutes, put out a hat, ask people to donate $5 at the door or whatever they can, sell some T-shirts, some hats, and just go from. I mean, and just go from bar hopping across the state.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do. We call it the truth tour. So we travel around the state and do just that, you know, and generally give out the t-shirts.
And give out the T-shirts, ask for a donation, and just go to all the bars. And people at the bars are going to be generous, you know, get a couple drinks in them. They get also they really generous and giving, and you know, and opening
Well, cool,
and
man. I'm gonna cut this short, but I appreciate you coming on. Let's make this a weekly thing. We'll talk.
yeah, let's talk. Yeah, every week we should talk. Thank you guys so much. Please go to the Rock Club Foundation. Go fund me. If you want to donate to me, if you want to donate this guy, the water movement. What is it? Southern Florida water movement.
Yeah, South Florida Clean Water Movement. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can look that up on Facebook. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna be posting this on my YouTube channel. So like, please make sure people share that. Um, what did Rachel say?
She said, "Good ideas."
All right, good. All right, we love you. All right, thank you guys so much for the interviewing. I'm gonna be posting this on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it's Eric and Deer the goat. I got the goat named Deer. I'm the goat man. We gotta give him. We gotta be tough, man. Don't back down. You know, you can try to tell goat what to do. He's just gonna come around and butt you with the horns, man. We gotta be tough. You know, that's why I have the goat as a representation of our hearts of being disobedient and being activism and being one. You know, and sometimes you know that's the spirit of the goat. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but
All right, so we'll talk to you on the flip flop. We'll make it a weekly talk.
all right, sounds good.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.